It's getting chilly out again, boys. Today we are showing a little bit of behind the scenes. Been working on oil coolers for C5 and C6 Corvettes for a little bit, and we're gonna test out theory today. I've pretty much got it narrowed down to 2 different paths that I want to take it with, and we're gonna test out airflow here with a V-mounted configuration with these little 19-row coolers. And I'll explain why in just a minute. So the 2 main goals with Tomlin Performance is to make products that are high quality. I'm really trying as hard as I can to have some of the highest quality stuff on the market. I'm sure all of you know car parts are expensive, which means a lot of people can't kind of play with cars the way I've been fortunate enough to be able to. So I like to make everything as affordable as possible to kind of create the barrier of entry a lot lower, so anyone can be a part of the car community. At the same time as trying to keep those prices low, I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality of stuff, because cheap stuff that is bad quality isn't gonna help anybody that's trying to get into cars. So I still am trying to make high quality stuff. So I've got 2 routes that I'm looking at going down right now with these. The first one, which we're testing out airflow on right now, is mounting these 19-row coolers right up in front of the AC condenser and radiator in this V-mount configuration. And we're gonna see how much airflow we can get through these. And this is so we can create these at a fairly low cost. So I'll be able to sell these cheaper than the alternative, which is to mount this in somewhere without airflow, put a cooling fan on it with a fan shroud. I'll need a switch that activates that fan temperature with a temperature trigger. So that stuff gets more complicated and is more expensive for me to make, meaning it'll be more expensive to purchase. So we're exploring this route first. I think it looks pretty cool, that's for sure. All right, so with that stuff I attached to that cooler, we should be able to see airflow through the cooler. If we're getting good airflow, all that stuff will lift up and be flapping. And if we're not getting any airflow through it, those will kind of just stay how they are. And without airflow through it, you're obviously not going to get any cooling out of that, out of it. A quick test drive now. We'll go over that footage when we're back, see what that looks like, and we'll make our decision from there. So I ran that footage back, and we are clearly getting a good amount of airflow through that cooler. So that gives me enough confidence to go ahead and make a full prototype 1. We'll obviously test that and make sure that we're getting performance we're happy with. The second option was putting it in the fender. Then you've got to use your oil temp sensor to trigger a relay to power the fan. You've got the fan, the shroud. There's a lot more to the install, a lot more cost that goes into making it. Harder to install, higher cost. If we can get that same cooling ability out of a cheaper, simpler product, that's what we're trying to do. So traditionally I've done AN fittings that has a barb that goes in and then a sleeve around that screws in on the outside of the line. We're using these new push lock guys, and then this is basically heat shrink. So I've got to pressure test these to make sure that they work. And then it'll be as easy as mounting that cooler, which took 20 seconds, 30 seconds under the car, running lines, and then adding this adapter right above the oil filter. So we've got some testing to do with that. And then hopefully this is ready to rock. We might have to make a V2, V3, however many versions it makes to get this dialed in correctly. Because again, we're trying to have the highest quality stuff on the market. All right, up there you can see the adapter I used. I'm actually using a different company's adapter, and I'm gonna make my own because I don't like these. You can't use the oil temp sensor. They're kind of a pain to install with the hardware they provide, but just to test the rest of the oil cooler, that's what I used. Then the lines run up through here. You can see them right here. Again here, all the way up to the front. And that's how we're looking right now. I've only got one mount right here, kind of temporary. I'm still experimenting with how I want to mount this up here. I think I might use kind of more of a sheet that'll go along there and then bend to underneath. Haven't quite figured that out for sure yet, but this will work just for testing purposes to make sure that this is the design we want to roll with. And then for these, I'm using the exact same core, Tama Performance oil cooler core that I use for the 370Z kits. If you've got a 370Z, I've got a few in stock still right now. Gonna do another restock soon. I always keep plenty in stock, so everything ships out same day you order. And then we've got Hydro coming for C5s here soon as well. That should be, we'll start that next week. But I'm gonna go ahead and do some testing with this, and we'll move on from there. So this is kind of the first prototype we have of this kit. In a few weeks here, we'll be moving out into the a new shop. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff going on with getting the shop kind of set up. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned for that. Other than that though, that's all I've got for today.